All right. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to our August UPCA webinar. I'm very excited about our speaker and content today, but I'm always excited. Uh, just a few announcements before we turn the time over to Bené. I just wanted to remind everybody that fall conference registration as well as PopCon registration is now open. Hooray! So hopefully we'll see all of you down in St. George in October. I just wanted to put a plug in for PopCon. It's going to be awesome as usual. There is the registration is available through the Fall Conference website again this year. Um, it was labeled on the registration as a pre-conference, and I know the planning committee is working on changing that wording so it says PopCon, but just know if you go to register for Fall Conference, PopCon is that pre-conference option that's available on there. So hope to see you guys all there. I also wanted to put plug in for the Fall Conference awards that are available every year. There is a Coalition of the Year award that you could nominate for, and of course the Merlin Good Prevention Award and the Lifetime Achievement Award too is open to all of the different tracks and categories. So, oh yeah, I can totally do that, Brian. Definitely be thinking about coalitions that deserve some recognition and your fellow prevention specialists that deserve some recognition. I know sometimes we overthink the award things like I need to be doing something very grand and my coalitions need to do something life-changing, and certainly that helps, but we definitely want to recognize folks that are doing small things in their community because small things can have big impact. So I'm saying is don't overthink it. Please nominate your coalitions and your youth coalitions, and please nominate your, um, fellow preventionists and get them some recognition. It's well deserved. Let's see what the chat says. I will put the fall conference link in the chat. Yes, I'll try to get the link for the awards. I don't know that it's been sent out yet, but I'll ask Elise. Oh, perfect. Ha, there isn't a link yet. Perfect. And do we know the difference between the cost of early bird registration in advance? I do not. But I'll try to find out, and um, hopefully we can send that information out when we send out the um, recording of today's webinar. Okay. I got a bunch of texts and I'm like, oh, I hope no one's texting me about the webinar. And I just keep talking as usual. So I believe that is all the announcements that I have, unless anyone else has any announcements. Oh, thanks, Elise. So Elise said for PopCon, it's a $25 difference. I'm not sure on fall conference price differences. I guess we wouldn't be surprised if the price goes up a little bit. It seems like everything's going up a little bit, right? But maybe we'll get extra really good treats this year. Hmm? All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to turn the time over to Bené Larson. Hopefully, all of you guys know Bené, but if you don't, she's a program director at NAMI Utah, and a lot of us have had the privilege of working with Bené as we received the suicide prevention by design grants years ago. And even though that funding is not available anymore, it's been awesome to have a relationship with Bené and know who to go to whenever we have questions about suicide prevention information in the state. She's a really great resource for us. So without further ado, Bené Larson, everyone.
Thanks, Heidi. Love seeing you. It's been a while, so I always love this opportunity to be here. And I know some of you, but I don't know all of you. So I'll just give you a little update on who I am and what I do. Like Heidi said, I work at NAMI Utah. I oversee a state suicide prevention grant. Um, that as part of that, I co-chair our state suicide prevention coalition with Ash Fletcher Garcia. And Ash used to be at the Department of Health and Human Services, but now Ash works at Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the University of Utah. So she still gets to work with me doing this work. And anyway, I'm going to give you all some information and updates for our coalition and who we are and what we do. As I was putting this slide together, I was like, oh, wow, we do a lot. And we do a lot of really good things. So I get really excited to get to shout out and celebrate the good work that we have done. I have been working in suicide prevention for 8 years, which is wild and crazy to me that it's been this long. But in that time, I've seen lots of good and change happen in our state. And I love being able to work with all of you and partners from across the state. We cannot do suicide prevention without everybody. So I know that the prevention work you do overlaps, like, right? The risk factors and protective factors are very similar for primary prevention. And so I encourage you to try to sneak in and do suicide prevention where you're able, because I know that all of us doing a little bit can make a big difference. So I'm going to give you some just kind of information and history about our coalition, where we came from, how long we've been around, what we do, and then we have work groups that are associated with it. So if I can get there we go. So here's just some background. The Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition was established in statute through the legislature in 2012. Before that, there were kind of a group of public-private citizens, community leaders that were meeting kind of in the sidelines, trying to figure out what to do because Utah had one of the highest rates of suicide in our country. And so this led to this legislation and statute to create one position at the state of, let's see, now it's the Department of Health and Human Services that oversees the coalition. And then that person appoints chairs and oversees the work of the coalition. So the coalition was established in 2012, and the original kind of founding person for the coalition was Kim Myers. I don't know if any of you remember Kim. She used to actually work in my position at NAMI, and she moved from NAMI to the state of Utah, substance use and mental health, and she now actually works at Intermountain Healthcare now. But she was instrumental in starting the coalition, and in 2012, they created a plan, a statewide plan of strategies that follow prevention science to implement and reduce suicide within our communities. So that kind of started in 2012. We currently do have a suicide plan, a state suicide prevention plan that is set to expire next year. So we're starting to gear up to get working on the next plan, which is a lot of fun work, and I'm not excited about it, but whatever. So this is kind of the history. We started as Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition, and we had been that for the last 12 years. And then in 2024, our lovely state legislature changed the statute, and we were put underneath the newly created Behavioral Health Commission. And so we became a committee and a coalition. So our name changed, and I don't know if you noticed, but our logo changed and our name changed. And we are now the Utah Suicide Prevention Committee and Coalition. And I'll show you what that means. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but in 2024, our legislature created the Behavioral Health Commission that is the purpose of it is really to streamline mental health services in our state, and research and make sure they're implemented and functioning correctly. And I'm not really sure if they knew exactly what the purpose of it was, because it's kind of, I don't know, we're only in the first year of it. But under that legislation, the Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition was created as a committee of the Behavioral Health Commission. So we now report directly to the Behavioral Health Commission. Some of the others are the Crisis Response, USAVE, and there's a legislative committee. There was an education one, but that sunsetted in December. So this is what the coalition used to look like before 2024. We had this executive committee that, well, there was the coalition that was statewide, and then the executive committee and all of the work groups underneath the committee reported to the executive committee. And then Ash and I kind of oversaw the broader coalition. What it looks like now is this. So we have the Behavioral Health Commission, and then we have our State Suicide Prevention Committee, which was and is our executive committee, which is made up of leaders across the state from different sectors. who kind of monitor and oversee suicide prevention statewide, and then each of the work groups. So you can see we have 6 work groups, and one of those work groups is our statewide coalition. So we have a faith work group, a youth and young adult work group, the LGBTQ plus work group, workplace work group, and then a newly started again mean safety work group. Anybody have any questions so far? I feel like I'm just rambling. If at any time you have questions, comments, curious, whatever, raise your hand, shout it out. I'm open to stop talking at any time. So the executive committee meets, we meet monthly to identify goals and tasks to align with the mission and that align with our state plan. And then we provide guidance to each of the work groups. We also provide advocacy and for policies, and we support evidence-based trainings and prevention. Our purpose is to kind of oversee and report back to the Behavioral Health Commission. And then the coalition, so our community coalition, we meet every other month. So we meet, our next one is in September. So we meet every other month. So January, I don't know now, I can't remember, but it's every other month, January, March, May, July, September, November. So those are the months that we meet. We held virtually and in person. We've been working on hybrid, and we're trying to get more people to come in person. We feel like there is definitely more opportunities to collaborate when we meet in person. It is an hour-and-a-half meeting. We have a listserv of about 250 people. If you would like to participate in our statewide suicide prevention coalition, all you have to do is email me and I'll send you an opt-in. And that opt-in allows you to get emails and calendar invites. And we try to I send out an email about every month with trainings and events and opportunities to learn and the things in which you need. Thanks, Heidi, for sticking in my email. I'm really bad at multitasking. But so that's a little bit about that, and I'll get more into detail about what we do at the coalition level. And then we have work groups, or each of our work groups meet monthly, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And they have strategies and goals that they work on. Each year they're required to draft a plan with just like 2 or 3 strategies and goals that they're going to work on through the year. And then we review those, approve them, they work on them, and then they report to the executive committee yearly at our retreat. We do a retreat every August. So we're just getting ready on Friday to do that. So that's a little bit about the structure of the coalition and the executive and the committee. I'll give you just kind of a brief purpose of what we are and what we do. Our purpose is to lead efforts across the state to create suicide prevention state plan, which aims to reduce the incidence of suicide, to provide support to those who are affected by suicide, and promote mental health, right? We work to align resources so that everybody is working with the best tools to reach those goals. We also offer practical, easy to use materials that are tailored to the specific needs of diverse communities. And we often engage with different stakeholders and community partners to do that. Like I said, I co-chair the state coalition and the work groups with Ash Fletcher Garcia. And then we have projects. We guide the work groups to advocate for policies and suicide prevention. And we oversee the 5 work groups that meet monthly to identify those goals, to do the work, whether they do the work in the meetings or after. We try to make sure that we're having valuable outputs from these meetings. They're very like goal-oriented and actionable. And then we facilitate lots of suicide prevention trainings. So if you all want to be trained in suicide prevention, let me know. One of the things I mentioned that we do every 5 years is we update and create a state suicide prevention plan. You can find this plan on our coalition website. did have it pulled up. I'll pop it in the chat. But if you're interested, our Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition website has all of these resources there. On the About page, you can access the state plan, and I'll stick that in the chat. This is super helpful for any community or partners that want to engage in suicide prevention. It really maps out strategies, for like maybe one of them is create help-seeking behaviors within our community, and it lines up with what kind of strategies those look like, or connection and whatever it is that you're looking to do, it can guide you in how you can utilize this in your community. If I can get my screen to move. There we go. Like I said, we also help coordinate and offer suicide prevention trainings. On our website, you can request trainings. I'm a QPR instructor. I'm a QPR master instructor. We hold QPR trainings all the time. At NAMI Utah, we hold one every single month that is virtual and free to the community. So if you have community members that want QPR, but you don't have enough people to do a full training, send them to namiutah.org and you can register there. It's free to register, and we host it online on the second Wednesday of every month at 11:30. Dang it. Now I'm wondering if that's the right time. See, my brain doesn't fully work when I'm here. Let's see. Yes, it is at 11:30. Hurrah, I got it right. And I will put NAMI's website in the chat. So if you're interested, you can go to NAMI Utah. To register for that. Oh, it didn't hyperlink it though. Anyway, you get the drift. Other trainings we offer: mental health first aid. I'm a mental health first aid instructor. We have some who are youth mental health first aid instructors, so we're happy to coordinate training such as that. Vital cognition is a workplace suicide prevention training, which is excellent. If you have workplaces that you're engaged with who are interested in suicide prevention, it is more geared towards like HR and upper management, but it is an excellent training because it is specific to the workplace and how to implement suicide prevention in a workplace setting. Talk Saves Lives is an AFSP signature suicide prevention training. Living Works Assist is a 2-day, pretty intensive suicide prevention training. Creating Safety is more of how to create safety plans, that the state has created that training. And then in the past, we have offered safe and effective messaging. And a group of us from the Utah Suicide Prevention Coalition and Committee have been working on updating the content for our safe and effective messaging. And we are tweaking the name to be Messaging Matters. We had a lot of people being confused whether it was a suicide prevention training or a safe training. So anyway, we're changing the name to be Messaging Matters, because the whole purpose of the training is to learn how to talk safely about suicide, how to message safely about suicide, how to post safely about suicide in all ways that creates positive, hopeful narrative that creates help seeking. So just look for that. We've been working on this for like a year and a half. It's taken forever, but we've updated all the content and we are getting ready to kind of send it out to community partners who would be interested in participating in this training. Our goal is to have it be about an hour so that you get just some basic skills that you can utilize within your communities on how to safely talk about and message around suicide prevention. So I know, Heidi, we've kind of been going back and forth about that. And so we're going to get it, but it'll probably be more like September, but we're working on it. So that's a little bit about trainings that we offer and opportunities for trainings. So I'm going to give you just some background about each of our work groups and the work that they do. Like I said, anyone in our community is welcome to join the Utah Suicide Prevention Committee and Coalition. And if there is a work group that aligns with the work that you do or aligns with your passion, we invite you to come and join one of our work groups because that's where the magic and the work happens. It's also a really great place to meet different people and make connections. I feel like uh, some of my favorite people I get to work with in our work groups. And so I encourage you, if there's a work group that you see today, then you're interested in getting involved in, please reach out to me. I'd love to connect you with the co-chairs and get you involved. So our workplace work group, the co-chairs are Alyssa Mitchell, who works at DHHS, and then Sean Morris, who is a therapist in Utah County. Their vision for the workplace work group is to call employers to action by assisting workplaces with the implementation and improvement of strategies focused on improving the mental health of their employees. And a lot of what they do is they promote the workplace toolkit to local businesses. That is a product that we've produced in our coalition is a workplace toolkit, and I'll show you more about that in just a minute. It's something tangible you can give workplaces of things that they can do at their workplace to make it a safe environment, but also to learn how to prevent suicide within the workplace. Um, they also facilitate suicide prevention trainings. Last hour, I just finished doing a vital cognition training for the Utah Forest Service. And they have talked about how all the uncertainty going on in our country and with their jobs has increased the risk for their staff and employees to be concerned about suicide. So we were working on doing trainings with them every other month. And then they also do a workplace newsletter that goes out, I think, quarterly. So this is kind of what the workplace toolkit looks like. It's available in English and Spanish. You can find it on our coalition website under workplace. I'm going to play the video that was created for this toolkit with Live On. Let me know if you can hear when I click it.
For businesses across the state,
Yep, we can hear
the
it.
well-being of our employees is a top priority. But with mental health concerns growing in our communities,
taking care of those employees can be a challenge.
It doesn't help that mental health issues aren't always as easy to spot as a physical ailment.
Still, chances are someone you work with is having a tough time.
So what can you do to help?
Here's a great idea. Just ask.
Just ask.
Just ask.
It's okay to ask if you can help.
And it is okay to ask for help.
That's the kind of culture we as business leaders hope to build in Utah workplaces.
where if someone's struggling, they know that they're not alone.
We can also take advantage of resources like the Employer Toolkit for Suicide Prevention in the Workforce, which can be found at liveonutah.org/workplace.
Join us.
Join us in elevating the conversation on mental health and suicide prevention.
Because no matter what our line of work, mental health is all of our business.
Yeah, I love sharing that we've partnered with some really great community leaders and partners to advocate for suicide prevention in the workplace. I wanted to bounce back to Sierra's question in the chat about the Medicine Matters. Yeah, I think the Sources of Strength team, that would be a wonderful team to take this training. If you want to email me, I'd be happy to get you on my email list when we send out the flyer. We're seriously in process of creating the flyer right now, so I'm hoping to have it available in the next couple days.
For business.
So the next work. So before I move to the faith work group, does anybody have any questions on our workplace work group? Any questions or comments or? Okay, please feel free to ask. The faith work group is one I co-chair, and it's my little like passion. I don't know that I'll ever give it up because I enjoy it, but I co-chair it with Travis Bear, who's a family service therapist for the LDS Church. Our vision is to increase faith leaders' engagement in suicide prevention efforts by connecting with faith leaders to train, educate, and advocate for mental health and suicide prevention within their congregations and communities. And we do this by engaging with state faith leaders across the state in a yearly faith summit. For those of you who aren't aware, and I'll share some more information on that in just a minute, we've been hosting a faith leader suicide prevention summit. We're hosting our 8th one this year. 8th one, maybe 7th one. Anyway, we've been doing it for quite a few years, and it's one of my favorite things and my least favorite things that I do because it's a lot of work, but it is so great to get to connect with faith leaders from diverse beliefs and backgrounds and educate and teach them how to better support their congregants. Our summit this year is on October 30th. I'll show you a link to register, or I'd be happy to have you guys share it out with faith leaders within your community. Other things we do is we offer suicide prevention trainings. Right now, we're offering QPR specifically for faith leaders. We've been doing it about every other month. Our next one is today at like 6 o'clock. Travis and Heidi Dutson, I know many of you know Heidi, they are facilitating one tonight. And our next one will be in September, and then we have one in November. But we've been scheduling these 4 or 5 times a year to continue to educate faith leaders across the state. They are virtual. And then we engage with diverse faith leaders to reach underserved populations. This year, we hosted a lunch and learn, and we invited lots of diverse faiths, that were not the minority faith community here, and engaged with many that were Latino, and got to talk with them and learn a little bit more about the stresses and the things that were affecting their population and their communities. So that was a wonderful opportunity to hear from just more diverse populations in our state. So I'm going to share, this is our Faith Summit invitation for this year. It is on October 30th. It's in Sandy at the Miller Conference Center from 8:30 to 3. Our keynote speaker is Dr. Mike Petro. He comes from the Center of Action and Contemplation. He's a spiritual director, a certified grief counselor. Our theme for this year is faith and resiliency through life transitions. We had a lot of people coming to us and in our work group discussing the concern of young adults in transition, and we started kind of brainstorming our theme for this year and really recognized suicide risk comes for all people at all stages of life, but there's some key transitions in life that are put us at sometimes higher risk. And sometimes that's, graduating high school, going to college or not going to college, divorce, pregnancy, birth, financial struggles, faith transitions. I'm trying to think of, we've got, adult men, like men who may be struggling in midlife, middle years are often our highest risk for suicide. So we have some really amazing breakout sessions and panels that are going to address all of those kind of key issues. So I'm super excited about that. Our faith work group created this fun little sizzle reel with the help of the Cook Center. They helped us create this. I'm going to play this really quick. This is just kind of highlights some of the diverse faith leaders we have in our work group.
We would like to introduce you to the faith work group of
the Utah Suicide Prevention Committee and Coalition,
and share our work here in Utah to help faith leaders navigate suicide prevention within their congregations.
Our mission is to increase faith leaders' engagement
in statewide suicide prevention efforts
by connecting faith leaders of all denominations
to train,
educate, and advocate
for mental health and suicide prevention
within their congregations and communities.
We invite you to come and join us
at this year's Faith Leaders Suicide Prevention Summit.
Well, that's just kind of something we created that we're hoping to have community partners like yourself share out. We're utilizing social media to share it out. We've been working actually with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints social media team to share things out. So really excited to see where it goes. Hey, Susanna, thanks for asking. The summit is free. There's no cost to attend. So we encourage you to invite your local faith leaders to come participate. And I'll send you, Heidi, at the end of this, I'll send you the invitation. So if any of you have a faith leader that you'd like to invite, I know a personal invitation goes a lot farther than a random email list, but we would love to get as many people as we can. It is a hybrid event, so people in, the far corners of the state who can't make it up to Salt Lake can attend virtually. It is live streamed and it is recorded. You can also access past faith summits on our coalition website. And okay, our next work group. Any questions, comments before I move on? I know I'm like pushing through fast. Our next work group is our LGBTQ plus work group. Their vision is that is a vision of Utah where every LGBTQ individual lives with hope and dignity and a profound sense of belonging, free from devastating impact of suicide. We envision a community where diversity is celebrated, stigma is eradicated, and support is readily available to ensure that all individuals can thrive and contribute their unique gifts to society. This work group is amazing, and Kimberly Kirkston and Brooke Anderson, who works with me, have been co-chairing it. There's been a little shift, and Amanda Darrow is going to step in as the co-chair with Kimberly in the next couple months. But the projects they've been working on enhancing visibility and representation in our community by dispersing Live On Allies project. And I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like in a minute. Their projects are to increase LGBTQ plus representation at public and policymaker events, showing up at, what are those called? Town halls when legislatures or local or state are holding town halls, having opportunities to meet one-on-one, showing up at the Capitol during session, all opportunities to highlight the needs for this population. They've really been treated not kindly in the last couple of years, and they've had a lot of their rights and policies put against them and rights taken away. So this is a group that is a high risk. So we just want to offer that. We also have created a LGBTQ plus community resource sheet and a one-page document that just shares resources. I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like. So we just created this like a couple weeks ago. So for those of you who are not aware, 988, the federal funding for 988 option 3, you used to could call 988 and hit 3 to get transferred to the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is a youth and young adult line that serves the LGBTQ plus population. On July 17th, the Trump administration canceled all funding for the Trevor Project. And so that resource is now no longer available, but you can call directly to the Trevor line. They just are not fully staffed anymore because their funding got cut. So just be aware of that. But I want to make you all aware that 988 and those who staff 988 are staffed to take all calls, no matter who they are, no matter if they are part of the LGBTQ plus community or not. And so we created this document of just local resources here in Utah that serve our LGBTQ plus population so that the 988 staff have those resources readily available. So I just want to give a shout out to this work group who put this together with like a couple days notice because the need was so heavy. So just know that this is available and you are welcome to utilize this document. I'd be happy to share it with you. We know the more people who have it, the better. And it's a living document. So when things change, we'll update it. But for now, these are the current organizations that are serving our LGBTQ population. And this is a population that is at need and needs that support and services. One of the other resources that we do have is the Live On Ally project. There's a whole bunch of fun posters that the Live On toolkit has available that anybody can utilize. This is free to use. You just would have to print them, but it's an ally project, and it shows that anybody can be an ally. Anybody can show support to an LGBTQ plus person that's in their life or their community. It's just a way to show presence and support. So anyway, I can share this document out with you, Sierra. I'm happy to share it with Heidi when I'm done. I'll share out all these resources. All right, our next work group is our youth and young adult work group. Their vision is to prevent Utah youth and Utah young adult suicides and to improve Utah's systems and culture factors impacting mental health and suicide. Our co-chairs are Holly Bell and Amanda Nelson. Kathy Davis and Andrea Hood co-chaired this group for a long time, and they have both stepped down in the last couple months. And so Holly, who works at the State Board of Education, and Amanda Nelson have both stepped in to take on this role. Their purpose and some of their projects is to stabilize and expand this group. They are really looking for young adults within our state to participate. We really need young adult voices to be heard. So I know you all have youth coalitions. If you have young adults that would be interested in participating in this, please reach out. Again, send me an email. I'd be happy to connect you with Holly and Amanda. We really want some young adult voices in this group, and we're looking to kind of expand their membership. One of their projects that they're working on for this year is to create a sticker that has Safe UT and 988 to go on the back of student ID cards. So whether that's college or high school or middle school, whatever schools have, those ID cards, that's kind of the idea for that. We're excited. It's like brand new, so we're working on it. Susanna asked, consider a young adult. It's anybody like 18 to 27. And I think, right, there's leeway with that. But yeah, whatever. We'd take any young person, anybody who's younger than me, right? In my mind, I'm still a young adult, but we would love anyone 18 to like under 30 would be great. And then another thing is they're working disseminating stickers through key leaders and events and trainings. Like we've had these fun, I don't know if you can see it because my screen's, we have these great Live On rainbow stickers. It's like one of my favorite things. Disseminating things like that within the community is just a way to show safety. Like these are safety signs. And so anytime that we have that opportunity to share safety for this population is a great thing. Any questions? Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, Nicole, if you just want to reach out to me, I can connect you to Holly and Amanda. All right. So this is something I would love. I'm really struggling with words right now. This is a project that they completed last year, but I would love to just highlight so you all are aware because you work in schools often and within your communities. They created this Live On Educator or Parent Discussion Guide, and it is free and you can have access to it. It is an excellent guide, and I'm going to pull it up so you know what it looks like. Just give me a second for my internet to work. While I'm talking about it, I'm going to just pull up our coalition website. You can kind of see what it looks like. This is our youth and young adult page. Can you still see my slides, Heidi? Did it transfer over when I?
Yeah, it's showing the website now.
Okay. I never know if that works or not. So our youth and young adult website has all kinds of resources, like how to make a safety plan, resources for parents and guardians, school resources, what happens when there's a suicide in the schools, State Board of Education's resources, the Live On School campaign. So this is what I'm going to click on and show you. Maybe, come on, there we go. So there are tons of fun things that you can utilize for schools that are on the Live On campaign toolkit. These are free. You would just probably have to print them. I love this. This is a tree, a connection tree, and there's little leaves that you can stick out, right? Like lean on me, you're not alone. I'm just a text away. It's got just some fun, happy messages that schools can utilize. Take a leaf, pass it on. There's just some fun resources. There's some great posters associated with this that are targeted for teens that would be great at any middle school or high school. Just, different posters showing that it's okay to seek help. It's okay to talk about your feelings. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll down and these are kind of fun. These are mirror clings for bathrooms. Let me see if I can click on it so you can, no, it's gonna make me download it. Oh, here it is. Some feelings are rotten. Let's talk about them. And it connects them to Safe UT or Live On. So these are just some options that you guys have, right? My best is enough. I can do hard things. These are all mirror clings. Table clings for like lunchrooms, stickers. There are stickers that go along with those. Kind of fun. Sorry, I'm trying to find the other thing that I wanted to show you. Da, da, da. And of course I can't find it. Anyway, I may have to just connect it to you in the email that I send for a follow-up. But one of these is this educator resource guide. It is a whole lesson plan to help utilize the Live On playbook, and I hope you guys are all familiar with the Live On playbook. Anybody know what the Live On playbook is? We launched it a couple of years ago. It's 10 lessons taught solely online, on your phone, on your computer. It used to just be on Instagram, but it's now on a web browser. You can utilize it anywhere. I'll type it in the chat. Maybe I won't. If you go to liveonut.org, it'll allow you to utilize these lessons. But this was created by the Youth and Young Adult Work Group to provide a way for teachers to have a lesson plan to safely talk about mental health and suicide in the classroom. I would say we do not recommend this for anybody under 14, but it also is something parents can utilize within their homes and their families. Susanna.
Hey, does that educator discussion guide match up with like statute and everything then? So the teachers can actually, what they can and cannot say?
That's a really good question. I know Kathy Davis was instrumental in creating it. So it did when it was created, but I know things change constantly. So I may have to follow up on that one, but I believe that it is because Kathy got it approved. So that said, I'll double check, Susanna. Good question. But I will link the access for this educator guide for all of you to have because it is, I just don't think enough people know about it. And I think it's an excellent way to have these tricky discussions and have it in a safe and effective way. All right. Our last work group that I'm going to highlight is our mean safety work group. It has been brought back to life. It died a couple of years ago, and we are bringing it back. Brooke Anderson and Andy Anderson are the co-chairs of it. They're really their first meeting isn't going to be until September. So if there's anybody within your communities that would be a good fit to be part of the mean safety work group, mean safety is firearms, medication, looking for safe ways to store those items to protect families and individuals in their homes, especially if they're at high risk for suicide. They're working on creating vision and mission statements and increasing opportunities to engage with community partners on how to safely store firearms and medications. So this is really vague, and we really haven't done anything with this work group in quite a few years. So we're excited to get it going. Just for just so you know, almost 60% of all suicide deaths in Utah are with a firearm, and that has continued to go up. When I started, it was like 52%, and it's now almost at 60%. It's like 59 point something, and that is just ridiculously high. So anything that we can do to help people securely store their firearms and medication will help us decrease our suicide rates here in Utah. All right. I showed you our new Suicide Prevention Coalition website. It just relaunched. We have been working for over a year to update this website. It just went live in July. So I hope you can all go click on it, play on it. You can see we've got courses and workshops. You can click that little carrot and find out all the different trainings that I mentioned earlier. You can request trainings for your community. Our resource page will give you all of our different work groups and the different projects that they're working on and resources associated with that population. And then guidance and information covers all of the other topics. I'm going to slide the website back over here so you can kind of see it real quick. So if I go to guidance and information, the first page is crisis services, and it tells you about the crisis line, about 988, Safe UT, the warm line, mobile crisis outreach teams, what they are and what they do. And then it gives you places you can go, the different receiving centers that we have in our state. And then there's a crisis resource handout you can print out. It's got crisis services by counties, SAMHSA, 211, all the fun. So I encourage you to check it out and go through and explore the different resources. We've got our safe messaging information. We've got firearm safety, Live On, what to do after a suicide loss. And then this one has all of our work groups and their content. And then this one is for the trainings. I showed you earlier the Live On Toolkit. If you want resources for your schools or your communities or your coalition, if you go down to the bottom of the page on the website and click on the Live On Utah Toolkit, it will open up for you this Lingo app. This is where all of this collateral lives, and it is all free for you to use. And it is easy to use. You just have to make sure you keep the style guide. So, and it will tell you what the style guide looks like and the colors you can use. You can create stickers, you can create posters, you can do all kinds of fun stuff. So I'll show you just real quick. I'll show some print collateral that you can print out for your communities. They have QR codes on them. These were great ones that were created for our Native population. They're awesome for some of you who are more rural and serve our Native populations. There's t-shirts, there's stickers. I love some of the stickers. The Talk About Your Feelings is one of the favorites, especially with teenage boys. Anyway, there's just lots of great stuff that I just wanted to make you all aware of, because I don't want it to go to waste. And why reinvent the wheel when all of these things have already been created that you can utilize in your communities? So anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that. Let's see. Oop, I kind of went crazy. Oop, I don't know what I did there. Now I'm going to have to start it over. That's so great. Okay, here we are. Well, I'm about done, so it's all good. Does anybody have any questions, comments that I can help answer? I think that there was a comment Amber put in that there is a new Gun Safe Families initiative that launched in August. Currently, it's a pilot in Salt Lake County with a goal to expand. If you're interested in learning more, Thank you, Amber, for sharing. Also, last legislative session, there was a bill passed that if there is a student that is in crisis, they share with them a document that is on our website, on the Youth and Young Adult website, about firearms safe storage with families and youth. Intermountain Healthcare helped create it with the State Board of Education. So there are so many really good resources out there that we would love for you to check out, play with, explore. Reach out to me if you have questions. That's kind of it. I kind of felt like I talked really, really fast, but I know that treatment works. I know that suicide is preventable, and that's why I'm so thankful to be here with you all today. Thank you for your support and the work that you guys do in your communities. We know that we kind of need each other to get our work done. So thank you for everything that you guys do. Please reach out if you have questions. I'll send some of the resources I talked about today to Heidi. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Bené. That was amazing. Like, I've worked in prevention for years and didn't know about quite a few of these resources. Like, I made so many notes, and I love that all the print resources are available for us to use in our communities, and that's an amazing resource in itself. Does anyone have any questions for Bené?
Yay, it's so fun to see some of my favorite people that I miss.
Yes. Oh, Sierra asked about gun locks. Does anyone know of any groups that are providing free gun locks?
Yeah, so the state has tons. I even have tons. I have like a box of them at my office. So if you want some, let me know. But Carol Riddell at the state has boxes and boxes of them, and she'd be happy to pawn them off on you because she doesn't have a lot of storage. So I can send that information to you in my email, Heidi, with her email address. But yeah.
Perfect. Oh,
and Intermountain, yes. You can also, I don't know how they've updated. You could fill out a form on their website, and I actually have a box, and they put them, I don't have any right here. And they have a fun little sleeve that they're in that gives suicide prevention information right on the gun lock. So Intermountain is another really great resource. Oh, thanks, Andrea, for sticking Carol's email. I should know it by heart, but of course, my brain's not working. Yes, thank you guys for reminding me of all the good things that we do.
Yes, good stuff. Julie was wondering if NAMI Utah does QPR for Youth as a virtual presentation.
We don't, but we could. I still kind of stand by, it depends on the age of the youth. I don't really love to do it for youth under 16, but I'd be open to have a conversation about it. I've never done one for youth virtually because there are some definite concerns about safety for youth, but I would be open to have a conversation with you. So if you want to email me, we could have a conversation to see how to make that happen.
Awesome. What about funding, Bené? I know funding for suicide prevention is kind of tricky right now. Do you know of any sources that folks could watch for upcoming funding?
It is so tricky. And I know, like, even myself, right? Like, we're constantly in threat of having our funding cut. I would say Intermountain Healthcare, and unfortunately, their window just closed at the end of July, but they have their community health grants. What is it called?
Yeah.
Their community health grants, and they'll open up again in January.
Okay.
They are a really great source. I have applied for it for my faith work group. Like, it's a small amount, but the most I could ask for was 5,000, and they awarded me like 2,500, but it helped me make the little bit that I have from the state go farther.
Absolutely.
So I encourage you, like, if you're a community coalition or partner, to Intermountain Healthcare is a good source for funding that is not connected to federal dollars.
Awesome. All right. Does anyone have any questions? We'll definitely send out Bené's contact information. So tonight, as you're falling asleep, if you think of the question that you meant to ask during the webinar,
please don't hesitate to email me. I'm happy to connect you with the right people and the right information. And again, if you or someone in your coalition is interested in participating in any of our work groups, like I said, we would love some young adults to be part of our youth and young adult work group. I'm trying to think of the others, like the workplace, faith, if you have faith connections. We are always looking for diverse faith leaders. Yeah. And I see that Amber put Gun Safe Families is distributing through partners and 1,500 biometric gun safes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that there are some who have community firearm funds who have means safety that they are working with community partners for gun safes. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you guys
Thanks,
so
Jess and
much.
Andrea
Thank you,
and everybody. It
Renee.
was so good to see you all.
You too. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks again, Benay.
Yep. Take care.
You too.